Oh, I think now it's like you're having the TV. Do it, do it, do it, do it, do it, do it.
Hello there.
Good morning. Well, afternoon for you, but yeah.
Yeah. How you doing, buddy?
Feeling refreshed and ready. Oh, this is
Hell
going to be
yeah.
interesting.
Oh, this is going to be a cool day for stuff here. So, we actually have longer to do this than normal, don't we?
Yes, as I explained on my end just before I joined the room, that there was no other plans for any other stream today, so we have time to open our 2-packs. We won't have to worry about time restrictions. But because of which, I think we both voted on possibly opening a 3rd pack today as well.
Yeah, I think we're going to take a food break in the middle of it, because that'll probably be about 4 hours time by the time we get there. So we're probably going to take a food break in the middle of it. I imagine both of us would kind of want that by that stage.
Yeah.
But yeah, it should be really good, to be honest. I'm looking forward to this. We can get the... This is where the bulk of the Duelist packs are going to come for a while as well. 2 sets time, we've got the Jaden 2 and Asta packs. And then a set after that, where one will probably be ending on here. Oh boy, we have the big one.
Yep.
Zane's pack comes in at the end of the day, basically, if we do 3 sets. So...
and that's going to be after we duel as well, right?
Yes, yes. That's the in-between round here.
Oh boy, that's going to be interesting to see what's going to happen.
Yeah. Alright, so...
As for today, though, we have already done our wheel and our, trade-in, quote-unquote, I think.
Yep.
This last string. So we're ready to just go to open the packs and just get started.
Yeah. I think we've both got like 2 or 3 deck ideas that we could use at this point too, because we played midweek and just as casual stuff to try some different things out, and we both had some pretty enlightening experiences off of that. It was quite fun. So.
Oh yeah. I don't think I actually tried to use my second deck that day, so my second deck may still be a mystery to you until we get to the duel.
That's okay. There is one deck I didn't play as well, so
yeah, this is gonna be interesting. So
yeah,
we're both gonna be pretty. This is gonna be a heck of a time for this one.
Yeah. All right. So without further ado, then I guess we should get into the draft itself here and go. Power of the Duelist, and let's see if there really is some power in this set, huh?
Yep. Hopefully we'll make a Cyber Dark impact.
Yeah. Neos won't be striking this time round, let me tell you that. Alright, enough puns about the future sets coming. Let's get to the draft, shall we?
Yeah.
Alright, see you in a bit, buddy.
Alright, see you in a bit.
I knew he was gonna do that. I just knew it. Ah, damn it. Okay, yeah, so as we stated, we are opening Power of the Duelist today. And well, this set has the makings of some good stuff. It's not super high impact by itself, but it definitely has some good things with what we have already pulled here. So starting off, I mean, this is where Elemental Hero Neos comes in. Neos, as I say, and thing is not very good. None of his fusion stuff is very good, but I guess we'll go over it anyway. They do have Neo Spacians to go with here. This is where the contact fusion thing really came into play. Like, XYZ Dragon Cannon was the first one, but this is where it actually was made a thing, because it's actually referred to as contact fusion in both in the anime and in some of the cards as well. There's one called Contact Out, I think. So it's like it actually is, yeah. When he initiates a contact fusion with a Neo Spacian, there you go. So you don't use polymerization for these things. We actually skip forward to one of the Neos fusions just so we can show this off. You have to shuffle from the field back into the deck the Neos and the correct Neo Spacian for the fusion that you are trying to summon. These are all ultra rares and stuff, by the way, so every single ultra rare slot with one exception is really bad in this set, but whatever. They have effects when they're on the board, but at the end of the turn, they have to shuffle the the fusion card back into the deck, unless you have the spell card in Neo Space. It's the field spell for them. Literally the training wheels for the archetype. There is a reason why, for the longest time, Elemental Hero Neos decks were one of the most, like, laughed at decks ever created, because holy hell, this is bad. Like, you have to have a field spell in play just so that your fusion doesn't go back into the extra deck. Like, really? Granted, it makes them free K attackers as well, which I guess is kind of nice, but no, just no, it's so bad. So we won't be actually using any of these. If I pull one, I'll put it in the extra deck because it's the mascot card, right? Like I did with Phoenix Enforcer. But we're not actually going to be playing any of them. Sabersaurus came in this deck. I mentioned Cabazaurs, I think, back in Thrawn and Guardian. Sabersaurus is the main Dino card that you would use for Dino Rabbit later on. It is just the strongest vanilla level 4 that you can play, so Rescue Rabbit bringing this thing out. Use this to exceed into Evolzar, Lagia, and Dolka, I believe it was. Pretty sure I saw those in Legacy of the Duelist recently as well. Actually picked them up in the Cat Lady set for some reason. Yeah, so this might come into play like a bazillion sets down the line when we eventually get to Evolzars and whatnot, but we'll see. The Neo Spacians themselves, like, Aqua Dolphin is really, really bad for the time. Apparently it's pretty okay, it's actually pretty good nowadays because it can deal with hand traps. Discard a card, look at your opponent's hand, and one monster that they have there, if you've got the stronger one on the board, then it blows the monster up, otherwise you take damage, and you have to have discarded the card anyway. So it's really bad at the moment because a ton of that stuff is like too weak, like too strong even for this to be good, especially at 600 attack. But apparently in the future, when you can just special this thing out and hand traps and stuff are available, it's like actually good. So, you know. Fly Scarab gets attack for every spell and trap your opponent controls. Whoop-de-doo, it's not really that powerful. I mean, unless they've got like 4 spell and traps on the field, this thing doesn't get strong enough, so kind of whatever. Dark Panther could actually be kind of good, though. I don't actually know how good this thing is, because I've never really seen it effectively used. Because, like, we were kids when, I was like a teen when this came out, we couldn't fucking use this card. I don't think I even had it, because it was a super rare. But, yeah, you target one face-up monster your opponent controls, and you copy its name and effect for the turn. So if he's got a really strong trigger, like this could copy Chaos Sorcerer, and Chaos Sorc could, you know, you could then use it to just banish one of the opponent's cards, right? So like this does have use. I just don't know if it's good enough to really see play. But hey, he is playing Chaos Sorcerer quite a lot. We did test out Demise a little bit too, so like there are ways that this could be good. So maybe if we get it. This also had a lot more Void, you know, Vehicroids in here as well. Submarine Void was actually pretty annoying for the time that it came out. 800 direct attacker, and then it put itself to defense on its 1800 defense. It was actually a little bit tricky to get over for some decks, so that was kind of fun. Destiny Heroes get a lot more stuff in here. I think the best one by far is Fearmonger, but that requires you to play other Destiny Heroes. Disc Commander is a promo card, so I don't think we're going to have access to that, unfortunately, because pre-errata Disc Commander with Fearmonger is stupidly good, but I'm pretty sure we're not going to have access to that. Defender takes the cake, I think, for like strongest defense points on a level 4 monster, but the opponent gets to draw an extra card in each of their turns whilst it's in defense. So that's kind of terrible. Dasher, on the other hand, is actually pretty good. So this is generic in most ways. In fact, yeah, it doesn't really have anything to do with the Destiny Hero stuff, but that's just kind of the Destinies in a nutshell. Yeah, you can make this thing 3100 by tributing another monster. Big deal. That's kind of not super great. It's got a Goblin. Actually, it's not quite Goblin Attack Force. It's more like Axe Dragon Ute or Spear Dragon. It'd be the one that we've seen so far. This can go back to attack position the next turn if it survives. But the main reason this is actually okay, and I kind of want one, is that if we can get this in the graveyard, and we draw a monster for turn, we can show that monster to the opponent and then special summon it. And that isn't restricted to low-level monsters. So if we drew, say, Horus level 6, if I went back and played that, we could actually use this card to like get it in the graveyard. It's a dark warrior too, so it's like, it's dark, it's pretty good generally. You know, Chaos Energy and all that, the Cyber Dragon stuff. If we draw a monster, like, that is a tribute thing, we could just special it. This doesn't work with Monarchs, but I don't have Monarchs, so I don't care about that bit. You know, I have Zaborg, and that's about it. So, whatever. Ultimate Tyranno isn't super good because it takes 2 tributes, but it is a 3000 attack monster that lets you attack, it has to attack all of the opponent's monsters. But, like, it's the only monster that can attack at that time. But, you know, it can hit every single one of your opponent's monsters with 3000 attack once. Like, that's a pretty good game cleaner. Speaking of dinosaurs, they've got quite a lot of benefits in here. Baby Cerosaurus is one that still sees play even to this day. Because if it gets destroyed in a hand, it counts as, you know, for its effect. So you just get to special a low-level dinosaur out of the deck. Not too good at the moment, we don't have enough good dinosaurs right now, but this is something to keep an eye on later. This is semi-limited in Legacy of the Duelist, actually. I think Japan just hates this card, because it's, like, OCG goes and stuff. Aliens came in here, there's not a lot that's good to talk about these, to be totally honest with you. I think Alien Hunter and maybe Warrior are about the best ones, and honestly, there's just nothing stupidly good there. Reptiles, I guess, if you like that sort of thing, it's kind of whatever. By far the best card in the set is Chimera Tech Overdragon. This card actually was another massive OTK enabler when it came out. We don't have all the tools to do that, but I have triple Cyber Dragon, so you know, it's always a good start there. So, this thing, it blows up your board outside of itself when it gets summoned, so if you Future Fusion to get the materials in the grave for later, it will blow itself up and kill itself because of Future Fusion. However, when it is Fusion summoned, you get 800 times the amount of materials that you use for it as its attack power, and it can attack that many monsters per turn as well. So, you can get this thing to just like 4000 attack and kill 5 monsters or whatever. It's absolutely amazing at deterring the recruiter types as well. On a similar sort of note, Jumbo Drill, if I did actually pull the nuts as far as the Cyber deck goes, the machines I'd probably use would be the Vircoids, just because, like, Drill Void's actually good, Submarine Void's pretty good, and Steam Void is kind of whatever, but, you know. This thing is not a terrible target for Future Fusion. It's just a generic, like, 3k defense piercer, takes free materials, so Future Fusion is really the thing you have to use for it, but if you pulled the absolute stones, this would be really good here. Otherwise, Vircoids actually do have their own fusion spell as well, which is unsearchable, so it's kind of whatever, but it does prevent your monster from being destroyed, which is actually pretty good. It can't protect against targeting, however, so Compulse still works against it. That's kind of lame. The main reason I mentioned Overload Fusion before, or not even Overload, is like Chimera Tech and Future Fusion, is because of Overload Fusion. We don't have the other Dark Machine stuff that we could use this with right now. This would mostly be like Barrel Dragon, I guess. Gatling Dragon would be the other one that you could use this with in the modern format. I guess Labyrinth Tank, but we don't even have Counter Soldiers, so we can't use that anyway. This is Miracle Fusion, but or Dragon's Mirror, but for Dark Machine specifically, which is Chimera Tech over Dragon. And yeah, you dump the cards with Future Fusion. Keep in mind this is pre-errata, so we get to dump the cards as soon as this card resolves, not the turn after it resolves. So we can dump the monsters, any number of machines we want out of the deck. I would frequently dump like 13 plus monsters out of the deck, and then just Overload Fusion to bring them all back. These two cards were limited at the time, at like 2006, 2007, because they were just like ridiculous OTK enablers. There's a couple of other decent cards in here. Mausoleum of the Emperor is the other good one, decent enough one. Life points are at a bit of a premium sometimes, but, you know, you play this field spell, you pay, 1,000 times the number of tributes that you want to play. Like, 2,000 life points for a 2 tribute monster, and you normal summon or set the monster that you paid for. So this could be used for Kib to get his Dark Magician of Chaos out without actually tributing, and just paying the life points instead. Otherwise, I think the best card trap-wise is the Pass of Destiny if you're gonna play Nurse Burn. We don't have Dark Lord Nurse Rectificule, I think it is? The monster form of Bad Reaction. We don't have that right now, but if you want a meme, then this card is really funny. Supercharge is actually kind of fun if you are gonna try and play Vicroids for some stupid reason. If one gets attacked, then and you only have Machine Void type monsters on the field, you could draw 2 cards. It's a track card though, so it's kind of whatever. And then the aliens do get a good, like, monster stealing thing with Brainwashing Beam. But that requires you to have AA counters on the board, and they're not very easy to set up right now. So, honestly, not super likely, but that is okay. Let's go ahead, full screen this. 24 packs of Power of the Duelist. We're looking for Future Fusion, we're looking for Overload Fusion, we're looking for Chimera Attack. Probably looking for Dasher as a one-of as well. Dark City is the skyscraper for Destiny heroes. Fearmonger is in here as well. They're not high enough attack values really to make this work. Diamond Duke gets to 2400, I suppose. That's okay, but like, yeah, they're not really known as an attacking archetype. They're an engine, so, you know, not super good. So of course we're gonna get 2 of them straight away. At least we get Sabersaurus. That's not too bad later on. Black Stego, I think, is like it's a 1200, 2000 defense monster, like 1200 attack, and I think when it gets attacked, you can put it in defense. So that's kind of cool, I guess. But you know, we're not playing the dinosaurs, so we're not going to worry about that. There's our Overload Fusion, as well as the Mausoleum here. We are going to get Overload Fusion later on in Zane's pack, but it's nice just to have it now so that we don't have to worry about pulling quite so many of them. Yeah, they're commons, but we're only pulling 10 packs of that set, so... And we've got better targets that we want to go for, so, you know, there is that. Baby Ceratosaurus coming in here. Otherwise, nothing too great. I think Wonder Garage was an okay support for Vicroids, but, like, the Vicroids are just so bad in general that it doesn't really matter. Neo Space, as I said, it's the training wheels for the archetype. We're not ever going to be playing that anyway. Cyclone Blade, I believe if it has to be on the Destiny hero, and if the Destiny hero attacks after resolution and stuff, after like damage calc, it destroys a spell or trap on the field. But the opponent's just going to use that spell or trap to kill the Destiny hero first, so it's kind of terrible. Well, there's our mascot for the run, Elemental Hero Dark Neos. This thing actually does have a monster negation, but it's only for the turn, I think, and it's only on your turn because it shuffles itself back into the deck. It's not a quick effect, obviously, so... Alright, I guess we've got our extra deck card. Okay, Dasher, that's a good one. So yeah, I could potentially try and play that. I don't think I'm going to, because I don't think I really have a way of using it very well, but it is a cool card at least. Definitely one to keep in the binder. We have a second Elemental Hero Dark Neos. Okay, Elemental Hero Neos itself is actually a pretty good reason to run Dasher, right? Because Neos is level 7 normal. So, you know, if you wanted to go with that. But we would need to get Dark Panther as well, even if we wanted to try that. And that just ain't happening. Because it's a super rare, so it's kind of whatever. Alright, Fossil Excavation, nothing too fancy with that. I think Fossil Excavation was like called or haunted for dinosaurs, but I think you needed to banish one from the graveyard as well. So, there's Aqua Dolphin. Okay, again, not great at the moment, but if we see hand traps and stuff later on, maybe that is one to keep in mind. So, not too unhappy about pulling one of those. No Future Fusion or anything at the moment. There's Supercharge. Yeah, no Future Fusion, 1 Overload. Nothing too great out of the first half that way. There's a Cosmic Horror Gangil. His cool name, but terrible, terrible card. Alien Warrior. When it gets destroyed, I think it puts A counters on either just the opponent's board in general or on the monster that destroyed it. It might be just the monster that destroyed it. Another Alien Warrior. Again, nothing too great out of there, we'll be honest. second dasher, and a flare scarab. Again, if this thing started with a little bit more attack, or if the buff was a bit more than just 400, maybe it'd be okay. But the opponent having to have back row down means that flare scarab's kind of just going to be terrible. Supercharge, nothing good out of here. 7 packs left, and we've still got a lot of stuff I'd like to pull, and we're just not getting it. It's all in the rare slot in this set. So there's Ultimate Tyranno. Okay, I mean, I suppose there's my Blue Eyes White Dragon power equivalent, but yeah, not really what we want here. Spell Calling doesn't really do it either. I think if this gets destroyed while face down by your opponent, you get a quick play spell out of your deck. Which is okay, but like, yeah, you're relying on the opponent destroying it, it's not super good. Man, just nothing really good out of here. There's nothing even worth talking about in these packs. That's a shame. There's one Future Fusion. Okay. One singular Future Fusion. We've got just one pack left to get. And it's nothing good. Okay, so one Future, one Overload. No Chimera Tech, 2 Dark Neos, because why not? Yeah, nothing super thrilling here, to be honest. No Dark Panther, unfortunately. Got the other 2 Spacians, but not the one that I would have actually wanted there. Okay, let's condense these real quick. Plenty of Alien Hunter, though. Woo. Alien Hunter, if it destroys a monster that has an A counter on it, then it gets to attack again in a row. But it doesn't get the damage reduction that the A counters usually have. Something I didn't mention at the time, but yeah, oh wow, I only got 2 Baby Ceratosaurus. How did I only get 2 of those, but I got like 10 Alien Hunter? What the hell? Yeah, the A counters, some of the monsters allow you to like reduce the attack of the opponent's monsters that have A counters on them when they attack that particular alien. Alien Hunter, despite it being beneficial for it to do so, does not actually allow you to do that. So that's a bit of a stupid design of the site, but whatever, right? Yeah, so I don't think a lot is really gonna change out of the deck here. This does kind of mess up a little bit of the Hero Fusion deck that I was considering playing. I did have backup plans as to how I could change it in order to accommodate only one Future Fusion. But yeah, the deck was initially built with 3 in mind. So we're probably not actually going to even consider playing that one. Unfortunately. But yeah, really just not a whole lot out of here. I'm not super impressed. There's a couple of things that are neat, but yeah, not really too impressed with this setup. I had a much better draft this morning, I will admit, which is kind of how it always goes, but you know. Yeah, so I'm just, again, with these sets being small enough, it's easier to just like do the filtering at the moment. Got 3 supercharge though, but I didn't even get jumbo drills. We didn't get very many hollers in general, actually. Just the couple of the ultras, there's like maybe 2 supers. That's about it. So really nothing too impressive there. Remind me, what does this one do again? Oh, when it's face down and destroyed, sends to graveyard is special avoid. From your hand even, not even from the field. Like, ew. Okay. So yeah, I'm again not super impressed with that, but it is okay. Let's go into Dueling Book here, and we can go ahead and show. I think it'll be this deck that I run today. So let's go over what I have set up here. So this deck doesn't rely on having any fusion stuff. It doesn't rely on any of the Power of the Duelist cards. Honestly, I don't think any of them are actually good enough to even include in here. So yeah, this is what I wanted to run last duel, but I just couldn't because I didn't have the cards for it. So thanks to Trade-In plus Wildcard, we now have 3 copies of Banisher of the Radiance, and we can actually play Macro Deck here. And Macro decks are traditionally extremely good against Darkworld. Like, almost specifically Dark World, but like most graveyard, most decks were graveyard oriented at this point. This deck is incredibly good against that kind of strategy. So if anything is likely to lead to a win, it would be this deck. So, once I stop going at the top of the screen, let's go over it. So, we have 3 Banish of the Radiance. This, along with the 1 allowed copy of Dimensional Fissure and Macrocosmos, are designed to keep monsters out of the graveyard. Dimensional Fissure only keeps monsters out of the graveyard, but it is a spell card, so it's easier to play. Macrocosmos and the Banishers both will actually banish all cards, so Spell and Traps go as well. Neither of us are playing Magician of Faith. I mean, he doesn't have Magician of Faith, and I'm not playing it at this point, so that kind of thing isn't really too much of an issue. But it's mostly just to keep monsters away. No Banisher of the Light Pools in the early pack. No, it was a super rare in Spell Ruler. We didn't get it, so unfortunate. But that's why we're going with Radiance here. I still need to play the CED because it's fucking CED. This card is absolutely ridiculous, and if Banisher of the Light is destroyed and there isn't DeFi or Macro on the field, it goes to the graveyard. So there are still times where this is going to hit the grave instead of hitting the Banish pile. So like Light and Dark is still the main sort of idea that way, and this is just a generally good stupid card in a nutshell, so, you know. Triple Cyber Dragon because it's Cyber Dragon. Again, this card is disgusting. Different Dimension Survivor. I really wish I pulled a third one of this, or we had the trade-in rules when we actually pulled Lost Millennium. Because, unfortunately, I only have 2 right now. But this card is gross in this kind of deck. If it's banished from face up on the field, it comes back at the end of the turn. It's just like, dude, this card just keeps coming back. It's 1800, and it's a warrior too, so we've got reinforcement of the army synergy. So it's really, really strong. Definitely no reason to skimp out on it. I just only have the 2 of them, so we've got to kind of go on a bit of a backup run here as well for the other stuff that way. Droid is really good against a lot of the stuff he's playing at the moment. Like, he tends to set stuff like Shining Angel and whatnot if he doesn't have advantage on the field, as you probably should, but Droid is just really good at dealing with recruiters and stuff like that if I don't have the Banisher and whatnot, or if he manages to summon a really high defense monster. He could play something entirely different, like, you know, the 2k walls and whatnot, and Droid is just really good at breaking those down, so, you know, it's another fantastic card to sort of add in here. This used to be stuff like Mystic Swordsman, but I think Droid in general is better, even if it does trigger flip effects. They haven't really been used at the moment. Like, flips have been out of favor for us in the last, like, 5 sets, so, you know. Exile Force plus Cyber Dragon is disgusting. We have Roller to get this as well, so, you know, this is just incredibly good in general. Getsu Fuma was originally because I don't have 3DD Survivor, but the more I thought about it, like, it's a Dark. Obviously, I wanted a Dark Warrior, and this was about the best one. But honestly, when I look at it, if he's playing Dark World, or anything that is actually Fiend-focused, then this is still really good. Even if I have to just ram it into the monster, it still destroys the monster, even if it kills itself in the process. So, like, Getsu's actually a pretty good I guess, meta pick right now, considering what we've been up against. Legendary Jujutsu Master is something we have not seen yet, and I really wanted to play it. The one time I had it in my deck, it was I think it was in Lost Millennium, and I didn't actually play that deck in the end because of other stuff that I got. So I didn't end up using it, but this card is ridiculous for the time. It was phenomenal. I only have 2 of them. I probably would play only 2 of them anyway. Maybe I'd take out Sasuke for it because I have other lights, but I'd probably only play 2 anyway. Yeah, this is just set this on turn 1. It spins the monster that attacks it to the top of the deck again. It's just like, yeah, this card is an absolute unit. We just haven't really gotten to use it yet because it's Earth and not Light and Dark. But because I'm not focusing on CED here, I have enough Lights and Darks otherwise. I've got like 7 of each or something, so I'm totally fine playing a couple of these. Very, very good card. Ninja Grandmaster is still really good in its own right. This combined with like Droid would also take care of a lot of spies. It's just a light warrior that I can search that isn't freed, because freed is kind of bad. This has got more attack, so we played that. Pitch Black Werewolf is Mirage Dragon, but dark. I needed the dark more than the light in this deck, so that's why we're going to play that. I'm not super thrilled on playing this, but I only have 2 Getsufuma. I didn't really feel like trying to play DD Scout Plane. I don't think that's kind of worth it. Like, that would have been my 3rd Survivor, but I just don't think it's good enough to really use, because it comes back in a tap position, and it only has 800, so it's kind of whatever. Tribe is Tribe. There's not really much to say. This card overperformed from day one, and honestly, I am still just surprised in a way at how little it's not even how little I valued it, but like how underappreciated I think I had, you know, like I didn't give it enough credit. Probably because it was banned for like the whole time that I played and had access to it, right? But like I really didn't think it was as good as it actually is, and it's just ridiculous, so, you know. Mistakes were made, but whatever, and we can search it off a Witch. I'm still playing Witch even though this is a banish-based deck, because I'm not always going to have... With these being limited, I'm not always going to have a banish card on the field. So I still like the idea of playing Witch here, because Witch searches out basically the whole deck. DD Survivor only has 200 defense. Sasuke has it. The only thing it can't search out other than like the bombs or the Cyber Dragon is Jujutsu Master. And Drillroid, I guess, but honestly, Drillroid is probably cuttable. I just like the idea of having it here. But it gets all the warriors, it gets the tribe, it gets the werewolf, it gets the banishers, you know, which is just really, really good in this deck, even though it is a banish focusing. For the spells, we have the 1 Book of Moon. I probably would actually play 2 or even consider trying to play 3 of this if I could. One thing that I had picked up on, the last 2 games that I played, I was getting hosed more by Dark Deal, because Dark Deal was killing my draw cards and everything, but I had just too many normal spells in general, and Dark Deal was kind of wrecking me for that. So I looked a little bit to at least play a couple of, like, most of these are still really good anyway, and I kind of want to just play them, but I looked to diversify slightly, so we'll see the Scapegoat is actually here in the deck now as well, because I figured, well, you know, Scapegoat can't get negated by Dark Deal, and it's a useful defensive measure just in case stuff like that comes in. But yeah, everything's a one-off because they're either banned limited or I only have 1 copy of it. So we got, obviously, Book of Moon. Confiscation is still stupid strong. Dark Hole is still Dark Hole. I mean, Dark Hole with DeFi on board is kind of super gross. Yeah, Dimensional Fissure is one of the cores of the deck. Graceful is always going to be good, even if I have to banish the cards for it, that is still fine. Heavy Storm was picked up from the Spellcaster's Judgment structure deck back in the last part. That is finally in the deck. It's very good. Even if I have a couple of continuous cards here, doesn't matter. Heavy Storm is just gross. MST is still MST like that, and Dust Tornado are, you know, still super good. Crossout, because he plays a lot of his defense stuff still. Now this gets rid of Shining Angel and whatnot. Pot of Greed doesn't need to be said because we don't know what it does. Reinforcement of the Army searches out the biggest things in the deck here. The Survivor, the Fuma, and the Exiled Force, as well as Sasuke if I need the light instead of the dark. And yeah, the Scapegoat, because it's a defensive measure that doesn't get shut down by Malfunction. Because apparently the one of Malfunction was also a thing that killed me. So, you know, there is that. For the traps, there's actually a lot more traps in this one. I've gone way more trap heavy than I normally would here. Bottomless Trap Hole and regular Trap Hole are still just good cards in general. I only have 1 copy of Bottomless, that's why I played a Trap Hole as well. Otherwise I'd probably play 2. Although having said that, Trap Hole is really good against Mystic Tomato and stuff like that. Shining Angel, he's still playing quite a lot of those. So Trap Hole is good against them as well when you just summon them. So that's fine. Dust Tornado, because it's, again, spell and trap removal. This is all the spell trap hit that I have that way. Macro, because we're a macro deck. Wing Blast I'm still playing 3 of. This is probably sideable, but I'm not playing any of the other discard stuff right now, so I think this is fine. Like this and Try being the discard stuff is fine. It's Wing Blast, it's fucking strong. And then we've got a couple of interesting ones, like Trap Dust Shoot is finally in the main deck here. I am losing way too many RPSs, and I'm always being forced to go first anyway, so I might as well just embrace it and play Trap Dust Shoot in the main deck here. And I actually remembered that I pulled one copy of Ryoku Field. So this is a countermeasure. Again, this is taking a look as, rather than what I've been trying to do in recent times is play the most consistent deck that I can and just play like generic good stuffs and go from there. And the disadvantage with that is when you get absolutely hosed by particular effects, right? And the main effect that I'm getting hosed by in my deck is stealing cards. He has Snatch Steal, Brain Control, and Change of Heart. And they're not the only things that he plays at targets too. He's got Dark World Lightning as well, which he's been using on my monsters quite frequently. So I looked and I actually noticed that I pulled one of these from Labyrinth of Nightmare. This was a super rare back in that set. And yeah, it's a bit of a weird one. I only played this a couple of times in the past when, you know, way back in the day when the set was when it was actually reasonable too. But it's surprisingly decent. It just like it counters at least 5 of the big cards out of his deck, because he's been playing like 2 Dark World Lightning and then the 3 stealing things. If I can resolve this on one of his stealing effects, I'd probably just outright win that game. I would play Spell Shield if I had Spell Shield instead, but I don't, so this is the only one that I have access to that way. So we're gonna try it. If it doesn't work, then that's fine, I can always side it out. Speaking on the side deck, just in case the banish stuff doesn't work for some reason, I have the more traditional sort of chaos package in here. I have a lot of lights. I have enough lights even in the deck, so like, you know, I wouldn't cut the banishes entirely, but like I have enough so that I don't need to worry too much about lights in here. It's mostly the darks, because like DD Survivor isn't very good if I don't play the banish stuff. Getsu Fuma is okay, but I'd probably be replacing that too. So the spies are just good in general, like Spy Guard is really helpful. If I'm not playing the banish stuff and I'm not playing so many high attack monsters, Sangan can come in and deal with that stuff. Premature sucks in the main deck here because I'm trying to banish things, so it's actually side decks. Like, that sounds dumb, but when you're focusing on trying to keep cards out of, you know, monsters and stuff out of the graveyard, Premature's not a very good card. Funny enough, if it doesn't have a target, it's not very good. Who would have guessed? So yeah, we're putting Premature on the side here. One Smashing Ground, maybe there should be a Lightning Vortex, but I haven't found enough situations where Vortex has been okay here. And then we have the card I should have played in the last set, and I just forgot. I even mentioned it too. Forceback is really good against Tribute Summons. He's hosed me a couple of times with D-Mark in the last few sets, and yeah, Forceback is just stupidly strong against that. So if I see that, or I see enough Monarchs and things like that, I can just put this in the deck and push them back into the hand. Gets rid of all the tribute stuff. And then again, the other one, this is in Magician's Force. Thankfully it's a common, but I actually, again, totally forgot that this was even a thing that we had access to. With all of the stealing effects that he has, like, this is a way that I can just completely counteract that and completely destroy whatever comes in. If he Monster Reborns my CED like last time, and I get Remove Brainwashing, I can just give me that CED instead. Bring it back on my side. And yeah, it's mostly just because of the cards he has. He's got 3 stealing effects, and he's got Monster Reborn to steal my monsters straight from the graveyard. If things go south and I can't use the banish stuff to keep it out of the grave in the first place, although CED would actually still go to grave because it sends, right? So yeah, there are times like it sends everything from the grave, everything from the field to the grave. That's including all the macro stuff. So yeah, CED would still end up in the grave. You could still special summon it back. Remove Brainwashing is the main sort of target that I could use for that. And I just figured that's going to be better than trying to run like Prohibition, because he's got so many different stealing effects. Prohibition is really good if you know that an opponent has got 3 copies of one card that they really, really need. but it doesn't work against multiple cards of the same that do the same general effect. And so I needed a better out than that, and that's where Remove Brainwashing is going to come in. So this is the deck we're going to take. I did have alternative options, including with the hero stuff. I did not pull like any cybers whatsoever for things there. I am going to change the extra deck stuff a little bit because I have to put the mascot for the set in, even though I don't want to, because it's dumb. But I am going to change it up a bit there because, you know, we pulled, unfortunately, 2 copies of Dark Neos, so to the extra deck you go, buddy. I can't even play it because I didn't pull Panther, but, you know, we've got to have the good luck mascot for the set, right? So, there you go. So yeah, that's the deck. I am very, very confident with this one, to be honest. I think this deck is pretty much the ideal adaptation from the last couple of sets. It's what I wanted to do in the last set, but just couldn't because I didn't have enough of this guy. I only pulled 1 during the actual set itself, but Wildcard Rare plus the trade-in mechanic let me actually trade for the other 2 copies of this. So, yeah. Just letting them know I'm all set. And yeah, like I say, I'm very, very confident with this one. Obviously there are ways that it can go south, there always are. But yeah, I am very confident with the layout of this deck. I think it's going to go well. This deck has got really good ways of going first and second. Like, Jujitsu Master is super good going first. Cyber Dragon obviously is really good going second. Confiscation does shoot really good going first. It's got the search, it's got the draw, it's got the spell and trap destruction for a change. It doesn't have as much direct monster removal as some of the decks I've had in the past, but I don't think that's quite as big of a problem here. Because for the most part, Kib's been relying very heavily on recruiter monsters and tribute summoning. And if we shut down the recruiter monsters by banishing them, then he can't tribute summon nearly as easily. And that's pretty much it in a nutshell. I'm hoping that this one's actually going to be good. Like, I think I was undervaluing this one a little bit as well, but I have a feeling this could actually end up being really good. Because you can't exactly run over this with Silver, because Silver just gets destroyed afterwards as well. Really, about the only 2 cards that I'm a little bit sketch on here would be Drill Void and Warwolf. And not because they're bad cards, it's just like Warwolf is still good because he's been playing Magic Cylinder and we know he's got Mirror Force, right? So, you know, Warwolf isn't exactly bad, it's just... It's probably the least exciting card in the deck. And like Drill Void, maybe it comes in handy. Like, I guess it'd be good going second if he... sets defense monster, right? Because that'll probably be like Mystic Tomato or something. I think these 2 slots in particular are going to change next set, assuming I stick with this idea. Because next set, we probably have my least favorite card of all time coming in, so that's gonna be unfortunate, but it is annoyingly good, so gonna have to change things up quite a lot, I think, for the next one, potentially. Yeah, going back over it though, like going back over the draft, it wasn't particularly exciting. Yeah, I got 3 different super rares. Right, Ultimate Tyranno and 2 different Neo Spacians. And then I got the 2 Dark Neos, and those were the only holos that I got. Which is probably fine. Most of the holos weren't particularly good here. What sort of bothers me a little bit more in that aspect is that I didn't really get the rares I was wanting either. Right, we got 1 Future Fusion, 1 Overload Fusion. So, a little bit of work to do when it comes to getting that out of Zane's pack later. 2 Dasher is fine. I just, like, Dasher doesn't really do anything with this deck, so... I mean, it shouldn't even be going to the grave in the first place, you know? And then, yeah, nothing really outstanding otherwise. Nothing in surplus by the looks of it in terms of rares, just nothing good, you know. But then I guess it's hard when like the alien stuff takes up quite a bit of the rare slot and none of those are any good whatsoever. A lot of the Destiny Hero stuff is all terrible as well. So this is just another one of those sets where the cards that were impactful at the time were super impactful at the time, but anything that wasn't meta defining is just complete garbage. There's basically no in between here, which has been the case for the vast majority of the GX sets. Obviously, I've mentioned this quite a few times as we went forward that this was going to happen, but you know, it is what it is. Okay, so I guess we could run through some quote-unquote test hands whilst we're waiting on stuff here. Because yeah, I got told about this in between like parts stuff here. Yeah, you can actually just randomize the cards in your deck this way, just shuffle them up. So we get to see the top 5 here. This is good going first or second. Because going first, you could just set Witch, set Dust, and pass. Going second, the Cyber Dragon Banisher. That's a really solid opening. Yeah, going first with this hand is obviously very good because we've got Dust Shoot, Wing Blast, and probably set Witch, to be honest. And then going second, we've got Tribe, I suppose, is always good. Depending on what else comes in, like if he's just summoned a Shining Angel or something, Banisher is a really good opening too. I did consider playing stuff like Rush Recklessly in here. I have like 2 copies of that I could play. I did consider playing cards like that because they allow me to keep Banisher alive in the face of stuff like Cyber Dragon. I think that might be a little bit too cute though, is the reason I haven't done that, as I think it might be a little bit too fancy trying to play something like that. Because I mean, I could take out a couple of the cards in the side deck and I could try it. Because I suppose the one problem here, maybe, is like, what do I do if he actually gets Chaos Orb in play? That might actually be the one sort of problem here. I have outs, right? I have Wing Blast, I have Exiled Force, I have potentially Book of Moon, like a Drillroid or something. If it attacks a set Jujutsu Master, there's always that. But none of them are like super good. I mean, that's what Ochre in the side deck is for, I suppose. I don't know, maybe I could do that. Probably take out Sangan and put Rush Recklessly in here. Because that's something I could see becoming an issue, and Rush is also a quick play spell, so it can't get Dart Deal. That'd be the other reason to bring it in here. Yeah, that's a really good going first hand. Holy shit! Oh god, Confiscation Trap Dust Shoot going first would be disgusting. Oh man. Oh god. Going second, it's not quite so good. It depends on what he actually plays down, but yeah. It's still like Confiscation Dust Shoot is still really good, right? Doesn't matter what happens. Let me just get this going. Hello. How is you doing?
Ooh, this was an interesting set of cards. Like, I'm not sure. This is gonna be. If this works out, wow. But only if this works out.
Oh, sounds like somebody pulled the nuts then. This ought to be interesting.
I don't know if I'm as confident as this one as I was before. So, funny thing I got to mention real quick. When I posted at everyone in the JCG channel, the original post said like double the packs, double the wins, and when you know it, I got the wins last time.
You sure did.
That was literally double the wins. Funny enough. Freaking amazing. Yep.
Yeah, I've just resigned at this point to the fact of I'm never winning an RPS. But hey, if it means I can actually win the games themselves, that's the main thing here. Let's go.
Probably should just call it Roshambo then, in case.
Sorry?
Maybe next time you should call it Roshambo then.
Oh, yeah, maybe. Sorry, for some reason your mic quality, it did this last time too, but for some reason your mic quality's gone down a little bit on the thing here. I don't know what's up with that.
Has it?
There we go, that's better.
I think my microphone was a bit away from my head, so maybe that's why.
That's probably why. Alright, anyway, we're going to start this off with a good old Graceful Charity before you can Dart Deal it.
Dope.
So we're going to do draw 3. I think I'm going to discard Pitch Black Warwolf and Ninja Grandmaster Sasuke here. We're then going to fire off Different Dimension Survivor as our normal summon for the turn.
Oh, that's what they call Different Dimension.
Yeah. And speaking of different dimensions, we're going to put a Dimensional Fissure in play, and we're going to end the turn at that.
Interesting.
So any monster that is sent to the graveyard gets banished instead.
Interesting. Alright. Well, I'm going to do that. And I'll end turn on that.
Alright. Let's go. Stand by main. Let's just go battle and we'll attack. No, it gets banished, good sir.
It's banished.
Yeah, so you don't.
Oh yeah, it does get banished.
So you don't get the witch effect. That's the idea. Alright, we're gonna end at that, go ahead.
I see the plan here. Alright then.
Yeah, go for it. I'm glad I caught you before you started searching there because, you know.
Yeah, that would have been a bad thing, yeah. Alright. You know what, we'll set that, and you know what? Let's not have that be a thing.
Okay, to the grave it goes.
Alright. Alright, then let's summon.
Oh, okay. Sure.
And activate the effect. Excavate the top card of your deck.
Okay, so probably the easiest way of doing this then is to
banish the top card?
Yeah, probably banish it, and then if it's a spell... Okay, so that just gets put to the bottom of your deck then, right?
Yep.
Correct, okay.
Alright, then I'll end turn.
Okay. Standby, anything on standby? Or draw phase? Nope.
No.
Heavy Storm, let's go.
Let's not.
Alright, discard your spell card. That's good for me. I am totally fine with that. Okay, we are going to just go battle then, and we're gonna fire it. Magic Cylinder, that's fine. That's not a problem. Alright, main 2, we're gonna set 1 and go at that. I'm totally fine with that. Like, I can only play 1 Heavy Storm, it's not like I can recur it, so...
No. Not at this point, no. Alright. Alright, so before I put him into defense mode, I'll activate his effect.
Yep. Ah, Sangan. Unfortunate. So to the bottom that goes.
Yep. Alright. We'll just set him into defense mode, and I'll end turn on that.
Alright. Stand by main. Let's put Macrocosmos out here. This puts any card that goes to the graveyard to banish now, so...
While this card is face up on the field, any card sent to the graveyard is banished. Ah, okay.
So that includes the spell and traps now. Anyway, we're gonna try and hit him. Yep, there he goes, and that's end turn. Go ahead. Bit of a weird sort of setup here, unfortunately. Not really a lot going on my end, but that's fine.
Any card sent to the graveyard is banished instead.
Yep.
That's interesting.
You wouldn't believe like how much I wanted to do this last time and just couldn't because I didn't draw enough of the cards.
Yeah. Well, this seems like a good time as any to activate this then.
Yep, go ahead.
Any warrior.
You know, I do find it funny how Magic Cylinder is consistently doing damage like every game of it here, you know? just sort of thinking on it is like, yeah, that card is one of the main things that's been doing damage here.
Yeah, that won't work that way. Alright. Alright, yeah, I'm gonna have to do that then.
Ooh, Sparkman, alright. How will you handle this formidable board presence here?
This will be interesting, yeah. Well... I may have to do it that way then. Yeah, I'm gonna do it that way.
Ooh, target?
Must reborn. I'll take that Sasuke.
Okay. That's a little bit annoying, but oh well.
Only once per turn.
Decisions.
I think I will just end turn on that.
Okay. Stand by main. Battle phase crash.
Crash, yep.
So this goes away as well. But I'm just going to go straight end phase and this thing comes back.
Yeah.
Because it was banished from face up on the field, so it comes back. Yep. Go ahead. Yeah, go ahead. Slightly annoying because that gives my one light out of the grave here as well, but oh well. I have 28 cards left to get through before I can even attempt to get CED out here, so you know. Seems to have put a bit of a conundrum in play here, huh?
It really does. Alright.
Alright, stand by main. Not got much better to do with this hand at the moment. Let's just attack. Yeah, out he goes. Main 2, I will set 1, and you're good to go.
Pass.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, I'm just gonna go in and swing for 18. Riveting gameplay off of this, but the hands are just not quite working out to do more than that, so...
Yeah.
Which is what it is, you know, at least this thing is sticking on board, so... My kingdom for a removed trap, eh?
Or something to that degree.
Yeah, that would help too.
See, that's the first trap you actually played and like is using in its full extent.
Yeah, outside of like Wing Blast, like this is the first continuous trap I've played I think since DNA Surgery. So I'm gonna activate Ryoku Field. When a spell is a spell that targets exactly one monster on the field and no other cards is activated, negate and destroy it.
Yep. Instead banished.
Yep. Yeah, I'm not allowing it that easy. Alright, battle phase.
I mean, I wouldn't imagine you would, but
I had to look deep to see if I had any ways of dealing with that stuff, and turns out I have one. So. It's tough, yeah. Just my kingdom for a monster right now. That's all I can say. Dear God. Oy oy oy. I should screenshot this hand and show you why this has been going the way it has. But like, okay, and that should hopefully be game set. I've been sitting on these for quite a while, but I'm going to normal summon Exiled Force.
Yep. And
assuming that's okay, we're going to pop in and go with that. One monster! That was all it took! I had the backup Star Trap, I will admit, but still. God.
Yeah.
So, I think that put a bit of a wrench in there in the old planner-rooney here, huh?
You gave ideas, though.
Yeah, I'm sure I did. Yes, I could have, but that would have been pretty poor in its own right, my dude. Can you tell I could have played someone else off it, but no. Also, I forgot to screenshot the hand before the admit came in, but oh well, I know what was in there. It's easy enough to.
Yeah.
Okay. I mean, it would have worked, Chaos, it just wouldn't have been optimal. I don't think it would have actually changed the way that I played that anyway. Going through, I would have potentially been able to do more damage, but I would have also ran into more issues with things. Yeah, this is a very different deck to what I've seen from you before, though.
Alright, time for a change of pace then. Alright.
Alright, stand by main. I'm going to normal summon Survivor, set 2, and go. However, draw face does shoot. Huh. I think the only reasonable answer here is the Sparkman. Cylinder Nightmare Wheel coming back in, okay. Trune Poly. Sangan, okay, yeah, no, the only reasonable option is the Sparkman. It has to be a monster, so yeah. It shuffles in, so
Alright then, stand by main. Well, gee. I wonder whatever will I do.
Could be literally anything. Alright. Stand by main. I'm gonna normal summon Banisher of Irradiance.
Alright.
This is the card I only pulled one copy of in the last set, but managed to wildcard plus trade to get the other ones that I wanted here. So this is what I wanted to do last set. Alright, battle phase, we're gonna have Radiance attack the Sangan.
Yeah, we'll activate the wheel on that.
Okay, so then Survivor can hit it instead. Banished, good sir.
Well, this card was banished.
Banisher of the Radiance isn't being negated. That's not Fiendish Chain you've got over there. That's Nightmare Wheel. So yeah, this effect is just live. Any card is that's sent to the graveyard gets banished instead. Go ahead. Is it your standby phase or mine? During your okay, so I do have to take 500 now. Okay.
Alright then.
So there's Poly, Set, Cylinder, Unknowns. Okay. Standby main. When it leaves the field, destroy. Okay. Alright, so we're gonna tribute the Banisher here to summon Cyber Dragon, which will put Nightmare Wheel to the grave as well. Yeah, when Banisher's leaving the field, it's like when it gets destroyed and stuff, its effect is not applying when it's leaving, so it goes to grave that way. But I am going to trigger macro, so... we're going to keep the pressure on here as well. I'm going to cross out that face down monster, obviously.
If it'll let me.
It's lagging on this again, huh? Okay. Well, I would have been fine either way, but I wanted to... Oh yeah, that gets banished as well. Alright. We're going to attack in with the Survivor, and then I'm assuming Cylinder on the other one, but I'm going to hit in anyway.
I mean, may as well. You already know it.
Yeah. Just gets it out of the way so I don't get caught on the lethal push later on. Go ahead. Yeah, Tribute Summon Cyber Dragon isn't something I would normally do, but it kind of works out here, so... And that keeps the monsters out of the grave, so there's no Chaos Sorcerer plays right now. Yeah. Alright, stand by main, we're gonna play Rhoda.
That's game then. I'm pretty sure you guys are monster and that's long enough.
Yeah, I can't game you this turn, but I am gonna get... I might as well just summon it, because I'm gonna put another Survivor on the board. I don't have a monster strong enough that can outright game, but it's pretty close. It's 18... Yeah, because it'd be 18, 36...
18...
21... yeah, buddy. See, again, this is what I wanted to do last time. I mean, you can kind of tell why, because it'd have been really good against Dark Worlds. Oh yeah, I can imagine you knew exactly what was going on as soon as DD Survivor came out. Let's just say I've been waiting to play this deck for a very long time.
Alright. Well, if this works, then... First things first.
Yep, this goes back to my hand, and then Trine goes to grave.
It goes banished because it was activated with that card on the hand, though.
No, on rest... no, Trine doesn't... Spells and stuff don't go to the grave until they finish resolving in a chain. Trine resolves Macrocosmos off the field before it finishes, and so it goes to grave.
Alright.
Yep. Go ahead.
Alright, well, reinforcement in the army.
So you've got Poly and one other card in hand at the moment. Because I've already ditched the Sangan. I ditched Sparkman to the deck earlier on. So yeah, it's probably one of a card in what you're gonna search for further.
Well, it's a warrior, so I have to get this one then.
Hmm?
Well, I think no reason not to do this then.
Oh god, he actually has that as the last card in hand. Wow. Okay. Ouch. Yeah, and he's gonna be 28.
28, since it's an elemental hero in the grave. Alright, then battle phase. Now those monsters don't actually go to the
They're not gonna get banished at the moment, no.
No, Cyber Dragon. Cyber Dragon is the only really option here.
Okay, then I will take the 28 basically because it's gonna have its effect trigger as well. So,
well, end it.
I actually can't. Yeah, that thing's a bit big to try and get over here. How about that exact fucking hand, mind you? Okay, I am going to trigger macro just now though, because this is going to save my life points. Because this thing only actually works when it sends stuff to grave, so...
Yep.
That might be a little bit too early, but I think it's better to do it now rather than... Because this actually does buy me time. Because if this macro could stay on the field, then you can't actually hammer through. Yeah, I just had to reread exactly what Flaming Man even did there, just to be absolutely sure I was right. But yeah, it says to send to grave, so...
Would you have that in your deck? That's the only thing.
This one face down. Yeah, which I know he doesn't have Chaos. That's the thing. There's one other better reason to wait on it, but yeah, it's fine. I figured this puts more of a deterrent thought in rather than just allowing the crap out here.
On that then.
Okay. It's not... No, go ahead. There are like probably 10 or so cards that could get me out of this, but...
Well, it's a matter of drawing it.
And face just on it or that one. Just debate. Doghold? Okay, so the reason that I probably activated this too early was because that was Witch, but I was pretty sure you were gonna attack one of these anyway, so I didn't think it really mattered. Obviously these will get destroyed, but they do get banished, so I'm just gonna go to end phase and I'm gonna save time by just like putting them back in. Actually, there's not even a reason for me to switch their position, because even if they get killed, they just come back anyway. It's probably safer if I just leave them that way. Go ahead. Although I guess I should have just done it. Whatever. Whatever. I'm dumb. It doesn't matter. I should have just. Can't only one come back? No, because they're not. This is not. Oh, this effect can only activate once per turn? Okay. Yeah, then fair enough.
Well, guess what? My end phase, you can do that again anyway.
Yeah, but only one. Yeah, this one needs to stay, right? This effect can. I've never had a situation where I had more than one of these in play at a time. I will be honest, but yeah, as you're right, I can bring it back at the end of the turn. So
yeah, you
can't put that.
I know. Just having fun here.
Yeah. I was worried a little bit about what you actually had set, because I did have a normal summon. I could have gone for it last turn instead of just thinking it that way, but yeah. I was a little bit worried.
Well,
wait.
Well, it wouldn't have worked. It couldn't have worked anyway.
Okay. I actually want to look this up real quick, because I know it says this effect can only activate once per turn. I don't know if that's a soft or a hard once per turn, because it doesn't. Like, this is an old card, it doesn't actually have, I don't think it actually has the solving card text here, because, yeah, this is one of those that it might well be like that, because I will admit, I have never had more than one of these on the field at a time, but, yeah, it says the effect of DD Survivor can only be activated once per turn. Oh yeah, skill drain doesn't stop this thing, but that's not really the point here.
No.
These fires only. Oh, this is one of those super weird ones where, unlike Sangan and everything, you know how like you as the owner would get the effect if it was on the opponent's side of the field that got banished. Apparently this thing doesn't actually come back if it's banished on the opponent's side of the field. And I guess it's because it specifically says on your side of the field as part of its effect. But that's weird.
So if I were to change a part it, then it got it banished and it wouldn't have worked.
Yeah, basically. Okay, I'm not seeing it on there. I'm going to have to go deeper or go with a good old actual Google search here, because yeah, I need to. I want to know with this one. See if this one has anything. That's right, bombers. No, that's not quite new. Yeah, no, it's weird the way it says it. It's like this effect can only activate once per turn. I don't know if that is just the old school way of saying as a hard once per turn. If this was nowadays, it would say something like you can only activate this effect in DD Survivor once per turn, right? But it hasn't been printed in forever, so it won't have been updated for that. And I'm not actually sure. I mean, it's probably better to be safe with it and say that yeah, there's only one of them that you can use, but I'm really not sure. I can't find anything on it. Which is weird. try and be a bit more direct here. No, I can't find anything on that. That's weird. Yeah, it's probably... It's the same wording as double summon? Okay. Fair enough. Yeah, I mean, that's fair. That's totally... That's totally fine to go with. I just... Again, it's an old card with not updated text. It's unclear, to say the least. Alright, so... let's actually banish the rest of my stuff here, and you can see. There are actually a couple of cards you didn't even get to see in this deck, to be honest. I really went through and changed quite a bit here.
Yeah, you did.
No, it's not a problem, Brownie. I'm actually super grateful for that, because I honestly would not have known myself. So, I will say I only pulled 2 copies of Survivor, so otherwise that would have been a third one instead of one of the Getsufuma. I figured I needed a Dot Warrior, basically, because I was like, well, if I don't have one of the macro cards in play, monsters go to the grave. I still want Chaos Emperor because there's no justification necessary, it's CED. So I was like, alright, balance-wise, I need a Dot Warrior. And yeah, only 2 copies of Survivor, so I looked, and then I kind of glossed over it for a fair bit. I was like, well, I guess this is the best one I have that isn't like Dot Blade. But then Getsufuma is actually really good if you play the Dark World stuff, because it kind of destroys any Dark World that hits it after you know, they attack it. So even if you put Silver on board, and this is the monster I have, and it's the only thing that can get over, that's, you know, Silver's the only thing that can get over, you're gonna lose the monster afterwards too. So, you know, I figured it's actually kind of okay. It's mostly here, the same reason why I played Fleet in Invasion of Chaos, it's mostly here for that. I don't really have better options yet. But it's surprisingly not terrible, actually, considering some of the stuff we played. And then the other big one was Jiu-Jitsu Master. Since I'm not focusing as much on putting, like, triple Chaos Monster in the deck at the moment, I can branch out a little bit and experiment with some of these cards that are absolute units that we have just not been able to play because they're not light and dark, right? Or not fire in the case when you were playing the burn stuff earlier on. Like, you were looking specifically for fire stuff. This card came out of Ancient Sanctuary and it is absolutely amazing, but it doesn't synergize with Chaos very well, so if you're playing the heavy light and dark stuff, you're probably not going to be able to fit it in. But yeah, this is a really strong card. Like, if any of your recruiters hit it, or if anything hits it, obviously in defense, but any of your recruiters, any of your tribute stuff, they get spun back to the top of the deck like Phoenix Wind Blast. So I figured that was just going to be the better overall option there. And then it's kind of funny you played Curse Seal in the end, because it wasn't really my intention, but my deck ended up only having 1 copy of every spell that I have. I either only have 1 copy of it, or is bundle limited. It just so happens to have worked out that way, that against Curse Seal...
1 copy of each spell at this point.
Yeah. The reasoning behind, like, my spell changes and stuff, I think I maybe changed like 1 spell in the middle of it. I don't remember what I even decided. It was like 1 card. The reasoning for my spell stuff was that I wanted to play a little bit more around Dot Deal, because that absolutely hosed me in the last couple of games, and I was like, well, what is the problem with it here? I'm running like 14 spells and only about 2 of them don't get hit by Dot Deal, right? And all of them were super impactful. So I will play a couple more traps with stuff here then, and try a couple of different things out that way, and play Scapegoat, which I've been wanting to play for ages, and it either just doesn't show up, like today, or, you know, it's just not been a right fit for the deck. But I figured it's a good defensive measure that doesn't lose to Dot Deal, and doesn't lose to Malfunction, because that hosed me before as well. But I was like, yeah, let's try and play a couple more trap stuff then. And Ryoku Field was the main sort of out to... It outs 2 things. It outs all of your control stuff without me having to try and guess with Prohibition as to what would be right. And it also outs Dark World Lightning if you end up targeting a monster. Only if you target a monster, not if you target the spell, but like... Yeah, it's a spell card that would target exactly 1 monster on the field if you hit my face down monster. And that's what you were doing with Lightning quite a bit before. So I thought, okay, I have like an actual counter to that doesn't rely on me flipping the card up, you know?
Yeah.
So I figured it did enough to justify playing the one copy that I pulled in Labyrinth of Nightmare. That was a super rare in that set, by the way. It's like, good lord. I don't think it's that good, but you know. This would actually be Spell Shield type 8 if I had it, though. Because Spell Shield does mostly the same thing, but also has a spell negation as well if you discard the spell card. But I don't have Spell Shield, you're the one who has that card. That was in like Magician's Force, I think. So
yeah.
So I had to play this, it's the best I've got. But it did work, it did what I wanted it to. So yeah, Macro is a pretty good card.
Yeah, that's a pretty solid one right there.
Yeah, you know, Monarchs actually used to take advantage of this engine a bit as well, as one of the variants, because Survivor could be used as tribute fodder for Monarchs. So if I had more Monarchs, I could actually play like Macro Monarch. There were two sort of builds of it, right? It was like that, or you played the Froggy Monarch with Treeborn Frog as the tribute fodder that way, if you played for the graveyard stuff. But yeah, Macro...
Perfect counter for Monarchs, yeah.
But Macro Monarch was actually a deck back in the day as well that was pretty good, so... Back then, though, we had 3 copies of Macro in D5, so it was a lot easier to play. I've said that quite a bit, like Skill Drain is the other one, right? That it's just like, back in the day, it was a lot easier to do with the stuff there, but... Alright, so, set pulls. Not very good, I'll be honest. I got, I think, 5 holos in total. None of them were actually very good. I will show you the mascot for this round, however. Not just one! I pulled 2 of them.
Oh, jeez.
And I didn't pull Dark Panther, so I can't even play it. I pulled the other 2 Neo Spacians. Those were 2 of my 3 holos. So I have an Aqua Dolphin. That might be handy later on. I don't know. And then Ultimate Tyranno was the other one that I got. I got that. Only 1 Future Fusion, only 1 Overload Fusion, and 2 Dasher were the best cards in the set. Everything else was pretty trash. I mean, Sabersaurus is good later on, but Dino Rabbit is a very long way away.
So Future Fusion works with, like, the Hex, right?
No, you are not, unless the Hex Shield is being used to, say, 1 Dark Monster or something, or 1 Attribute Monster. Future Fusion specifically says that it needs to send the monsters listed on the card to the graveyard. So, you cannot use the substitute with Future Fusion.
So it has to be the 2 actual cards then?
Yes.
That's what we confirmed before.
Correct.
All right.
Yeah, that's one of the.
I had to make sure of that one because I think someone was asking that earlier.
Yep. No, that's fine. Yeah, we played a little bit with me using Elemental Heroes and stuff earlier on in the week too, and yeah, that sort of confirmed a few bits there too. So yeah, interesting fusion style on this one, huh?
Oh yeah. You notice there's no Chaos Sorcerer in any of these either.
Yeah, that's the interesting bit. I mean, did you cite that out, or was that
I had to,
yeah.
right? Because you're putting it at the side, like you putting them there. Like, what can I do?
Yep.
Which is funny enough. I have a Light and a Dark Monster in the fucking graveyard.
Yep.
But even then, even if I did do that, if I were to banish anything, your DD Survivor was the only thing I couldn't banish and make it stay there. So I would have to rely on having another monster out to summon it out in the first place, but I wouldn't be able to do that if I didn't have the actual monster out at all.
Yeah.
So, like, what can I do?
Yeah. No, that honestly was one of the main sort of ideas of it. I would have loved to have played a 3rd Survivor, like that would have been the absolute dream here, but 2 is pretty good. Maybe I'll pick up a 3rd one after the next set of Giving Up the Wheel or something. I don't think I've given up the wheel on this one, but we'll see. Next set though. I mean, actually before that. What did you actually get out of this set then? Was there anything noteworthy for you?
Jack.
So pretty much the same as me then.
Jack shit. The only real draw I had that was interesting was Dogma.
Oh, okay.
Like, that's the only real one that's, like, noteworthy. I mean, maybe aside from the alien monsters.
Yeah,
no,
I see.
Even then, alien monsters are still kind of meh. But what's funny, you drew the fusion Elemental Hero Dark Neos. I drew 2 Elemental Heroes and 2 Dark Panthers.
Right, so you actually got the
I
Panther.
have the fusion material, you have the fusion monster.
That is pretty funny.
Which is stupid.
That is pretty funny. It's the same thing as the Cybertrack. It's you've got the fusion, I've got all the Cybertrack. Like, god damn it. If we combine our forces here. Tag team round robin tournament, let's go. That would be...
You know, it would be interesting. It would be interesting to see this in tag team style.
Yeah, 2v2, like, both two people doing a draft or something separate, like, both get a box and you combine the thing. That'd be cool. But anyway, getting ahead of ourselves here. Yeah, so did you not get any future or, like, overload fusion or anything yourself then?
Just 1 overload fusion, but I can't even use it because I didn't grab the... Or I got 3 overload fusions, funny enough.
Okay, right, so at least you have that bit. Because Chimera Tech is a rare.
Chimera Tech is not there.
Don't worry about that. It's a rare coming up in Zane's pack, so you should probably get 1 there. Hopefully. So then, well, no future fusion then, huh?
3.
Oh, no, you did get them. Okay, so you got 3 future.
I mean, I did get them, but like, what's the point of using them because I don't have the material?
Yeah, no, that's fine. I mean, future fusion in Heroes isn't terrible, but yeah, you'd need to play Clayman if you wanted to play the Thunder Giant. I'm assuming you got Thunder Giant out of Jaden's pack, but that might be a bit of an assumption here.
So, hang on. So, Flame Wingman. I don't know if I have Flame Wingman in my fusion either. Actually, does it...
You wouldn't?
Okay, that's a question,
okay, yeah, no.
Future Fusion wouldn't use fusion monsters, then.
Yeah, you can't future fusion Flame, Shining Flare Wingman. You could future fusion the original Flame Wingman, but because it specifically says from your deck to the graveyard, not from your deck or extra deck, you can't summon Shining Flare with it. But you could summon the original Flame Wingman or something that way. Alright, so I guess it's just me that didn't get the future fusion stuff then. I suppose that's going to be something we'll have to figure out in Zane's pack. But thankfully they're commons, so hopefully I'll just get the other 2 of each that I need, or want. But we're only opening 10 packs of that when it comes to it though, so... Alright, anyway, yeah, that's not a very exciting set for either of us, it seems then. I didn't play a single card from this set. Oh, you know the stupid one that I only got 2 of? We've been speaking on sort of commons and things being like, oh, we're just gonna get a playset of all of them. I only got 2 Baby Ceresaurus! It's like the cutest card in the set and I only got 2 of it, I'm sad.
No.
Okay. Anywho.
I don't even know how many I had. Babysaurus. I don't even think I have. No, I have 8 of those. I don't have. I had 8 of those.
Yeah, I have like 10 copies of the alien. What's his face? The hunter, the common one. There, I have like 10 copies of that, and only 2 copies of Baby Ceresaurus. So sad. Alright. Anywho, yeah, let me open up the thing again so I can find out what we're actually getting on our wheel should we decide to take that for this round. I believe this is Champion Pack 1 actually this time round, if I remember rightly.
If we're opening the Tony
yeah,
packs,
if we get a Tony pack, it should be Champion Pack 1 if I'm remembering the timeline rightly. But I'm just scrolling down in the moment to check. It's a very big document at this point, as you know, because it's got all of this stuff for later on as well. Alright, Power of the Duelist. It is Champion Pack 1 or Structure Deck Lord of the Storm, as far as the Structure Deck goes. We are still in the year 2006, so Wildcard Promo is a 2006 promo card. Yeah, Champion Pack 1's got some pretty good stuff in it, though. I think most of the commons we already have playsets of, because we actually pulled them, unlike, you know, the Simo and Gage's series. Now, My Body as a Shield is a common, and Gage pulled, like, 1 of them. We ended up getting the other 2 in this pack that we're about to open here. Champion Pack, so that's kind of cool. Alright. Anywho, I think that's pretty much it for this set. Time to move on to one of the most infamous sets of the entire Yu-Gi-Oh franchise. Actually, I think it's going to be marginally better for us than it was in actual gameplay, but Cyber Dark Impact. Oh boy. Notoriously listed as like the worst set ever. I don't think it's quite the worst set ever, but it's definitely up there as one of them. It also has my least favorite card of all time in it, so I'm not looking forward to that because I know I'm going to have to play it as well.
Only if you join.
It's a common, so we should hopefully get it. But yeah. Not looking forward to what's going to come out of this one, but that is what it is. Do I need to give you the wheel again? I probably do.
May as well.
Yeah, I'll just quickly copy paste that. What is it? You'll just have to find out, Brownie. I mean, if you remember anything about this time period, you should probably know what it is. I believe it was limited to 1 back in the day, actually. It was that kind of dumb. Anyway. Yeah, just run Chambered with the 1 Chain Strike that's available. Yeah, that sounds like a great idea. We don't have, like, just desserts or anything that way either. Okay. Error establishing a database collection. What? Don't tell me the wheel is busted. No, there it goes. I opened a tab and it was like, error establishing a database connection. It just didn't open the wheel for me, which is dumb. Okay, anywho, yeah, Cyber Dark Impact. Can't talk. Cyber Dark Impact. We're gonna do our wheel spin or trades if you want to do the trades. We've got the 1 trade in from this set anyway. If there was like a rare or something that you missed and you want to get.
Yeah,
we've got that regardless, but then yeah, if you want to take your wheel spin, go ahead do that, and then yeah, 24 packs of Cyber Dark Impact. That'll be our next duel. So shall we just
and just to make sure, like with the trade-in, it is for any rarity of a surplus, right?
Yeah, so if you have a surplus of a rarity, you can, like a rare or even if, so say if you had a super, you could trade that surplus super for any super or below rarity. If you for some reason wanted to trade a super for a common, I'm not gonna hold it against you much, but you know, yeah, it's up to the rarity that you trade in.
Yeah. Only with a surplus, and if it's banned as well, actually. So banned cards is 1, like limited cards 2, and
banned and
auto limited is 3.
So because we're playing traditional, banned and limited are basically the same thing that way. You play to you will have, if you have more than 1 copy of a banned or limited card, you can trade that in. If you have more than 2 copies of a semi-limited, so 3 or more semi-limited, you trade that in, or 4 or more of an unlimited card. Because again, surplus is anything that we can't play, basically. And since you can only play 3 copies of a card, even if it is unlimited. So that, like that Doom Dozer that you traded in one of your, like, 5 of last time, you could trade in the other one that you've got spare if you want. It doesn't have to be from the set that we've just drafted.
Yeah, but it can be from any previous main set,
yes.
Right?
Any card that you have a surplus of, you can trade for 1 card that's of the same or lower rarity in this set that we've just done. Or if you give up the wheel, yeah,
give it the wheel, yeah.
Then in your case, you can do free trades from any set as well as that one from this current one. Whereas if I gave it up, it'd be 4 because I won the game here. But
yeah.
And then we have to spin the wheel in the setup.
Just double checking the rules here before we move on. Wait, do I remember all the rules here? I don't remember.
That's fine. That's what the that's what I spent so long like codifying this all in the thing so I could easily clarify it whenever we need to. Alright
then, we're good to go then.
Yeah, okay. So I will meet you back then for the for Cyber Dark Impact duel, I suppose.
Cyber Dark Impact then. Alright.
Yep.
Alrighty, good luck.
Yeah, have a good one, buddy.
Yep.
He's not gonna have a good time with this set. There's like so little there. Okay, I'm gonna actually restart the stream real quick just so that I can reset any potential delay stuff here, and it also means that it's a bit easier for me to highlight later on because Twitch is really terrible right now about their highlighting, and if I have multiple things in the same like stream, it doesn't tend to let me save details and stuff very well. So I'm just going to restart it like literally 10-20 seconds here. Then we're going to spin this wheel. We're going to get our trade-in stuff going, and we will roll Cyber Dark Impact. Let's see it.